she's going to talk today about tackling holiday temptations. And I've seen the presentation. I just can't wait to hear because it's fabulous. So, will you do your little bio? Because I don't know all your wonderful things. So I'll let you tell everybody really who you are.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Congratulations for getting here in December. I kind of think it's like the most important. Oh, this one's not.
Yeah.
I forgot there's two of them. I was half on. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, great job getting here in December. I think this is the month to get to a support group, right? If any other month, like who, weight loss surgery aside, who doesn't need a support group in the month of December? So we're here in good company. So my name is Steph Wagner, and I'm a dietitian. I've worked in bariatric surgery all my career, so I celebrated 10 years in September of being a bariatric dietitian, and I really love it. I really am one of your biggest cheerleaders. You just don't even know it. I started in Oklahoma City, and I worked for 3 surgeons there, and I worked here for a little while, and now I work on my own. I have a website, and I'll tell you more about that later, but you can find me online, and there's some cards on your way out. There's a little mini meal plan with my information and recipes on there. So that's a little bit about me. And I really just want to jump into the topic because I think it's so important. Before I move on to the next slide, I would even love to hear from you all, and I'll repeat it because I have the microphone. What is hard about the holidays? Carbs. There you go. You can just sum it up. Carbs, yes.
Everywhere.
Food's everywhere.
I guess for me, actually, really Thanksgiving with my wife, it was not making her feel bad for me not being able to eat.
Yes, there's the emotions and the dynamics between family and relationships, not hurting feelings. Absolutely. There's more. What else? Parties. So many parties. Does anybody celebrate more than one Thanksgiving? How many Thanksgivings did you have? 2? 1? Now I feel like, thankfully this year I calmed it down, but I feel like there was one year that I had like 3 Thanksgivings. I'm like, I'm so over turkey, over it. Okay, well I'm going to jump in. We'll see what else I came up with. I never know which way to click. I probably point over here, huh? Or am I clicking the right thing? Can I just hit the space bar? That's always my go-to.
It wasn't on. There you go.
I didn't turn anything on.
Well, the battery might not be wanting to work.
Here, let me just hit the button. There we go. Okay, so I just threw, these are all the things that popped into my mind, both personally and through the years. I'll keep clicking. Yes.
Try that one.
Try this one. Okay, memory. So this is just emotionally, like sometimes there's things that you just can't imagine not having. Like Christmas wouldn't be the same without fill in the blank. We have really rich memories that come in during the holidays. Dessert tables, I mean just the spreads. People go all out, tablescapes. It's cold outside, so that also goes into exercise. Plus just when it's cold outside, we go inside, we sit down, and we think about food. It's, it's a domino effect when it's cold outside. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Busy? So busy. I think that could just sum it all up, right? Like we're just all so busy. It really is a big deal that you're able to be here tonight because we get so busy in December. Parties, hence the busy. Don't want to feel deprived. Like I just don't want to feel deprived. I don't want to feel like I'm missing anything. Baking, any bakers in here? Do you hang up your aprons? Yeah. Baking, it's a really special time. Sometimes that's how you bond with others. Will the holidays be the same if I don't eat? Fill in the blank. So that goes again to memories and emotions. Food at work. Does anyone battle that? Yeah, everyone's bringing food to work. Whatever they baked, they just bring to work. Whatever the neighbor brought over, they just bring it to work. And then you have a food day where everybody's eating all day long. Celebrating with multiple families. It's dark early. That kind of goes into the cold outside. It's dark early. Maybe you're traveling over the holidays. Really sentimental foods. And if you're hosting. And then, even as I was driving here, I was like, oh, What about alcohol? I didn't even add that. Cocktails and wine and not even non-alcoholic, eggnog. And if you're a coffee drinker, you just drink more warm drinks. And then if you do creamers, it's just really easy for excess and abundance to sneak into everything. So that's why we have support groups in December. What's the action plan? Let's just stay at home, right? Just hide out, just stay at home. That's the take-home message here. I don't think that'll work. Avoid all the parties, just don't go. Well, maybe if you want to be a Scrooge, right? I purposely wore my shirt to let you know it's okay to have fun still and enjoy the holidays. Don't answer the phone. Just avoid the whole thing. Or forget it. Just eat it all and enjoy. Not recommended. I did cross that one off. Although you might have that thought at time to time, just forget it. I'll deal with it in January. Go to the Bahamas instead. Sign me up for that one. That would be great. I could do a palm tree for Christmas. Okay, so obviously those are not real answers. We'll find some other ideas. So this slide is titled, Let's Get Practical, because this is really, I'm starting my take-home message early. This would be my take-home message. I think it matters to get really practical so that you can start battling the emotional things. When you're running busy and you didn't pack, or you're behind on water, or you stayed up too late, it's a lot harder to face the more emotional things or the things at work because your most basic needs have not been met. So practical first, so you can focus on the emotional second. That would be, again, the take-home message. Meeting your physical needs can strengthen you when it's time to focus on emotional temptations. So what do you think of when I say physical needs? What does that mean to you? Protein. Yeah, getting in good protein at your meals. What else? He's taking a sip of water back there. Hydration. So your body needs water. Your body needs consistent meals, so not skipping meals. Am I dancing around too much?
If you go too far back, I get scared it's going to topple over.
I'm going to move up here. Consistent sleep, physical activity. Those are the bodies, even just thinking of and I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So as a mom, my job is to meet their most basic needs. So I'm packing waters and I'm packing snacks and I'm putting them to bed whether they like it or not because mom's done. Also, they need some sleep. So if you haven't eaten in a while, if you've gotten behind on your water, if you stayed up too late watching Hallmark movies, anybody? I love them. It's harder to avoid the fudge in the break room. Making sense so far? So that would be my take-home message. It really matters to stop and get practical so that you can be ready to face December. So this would be some of the practical steps. If you look at your calendar for December, does anyone still do paper planners? Yes, I still love my paper planner. It's nice to have digital, but I do love paper. Either way, digital or paper planner, look at December and circle, highlight, color code, whatever you want to do, all the days that have a party or an event. And then you look at all the other days, because those are the days to keep consistent. Really, the hardest thing about the holidays is not Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day, right? It's the season. It's the holiday season of all the things that come in throughout December, the end of November into January. So all the other days are the days to keep consistent. So when you're still writing down and meal planning and looking ahead at the week, then you can know, this is a really busy week. We've got a holiday party at work this night. We've got this event at church. I need to have a crock pot meal on this night. I need to have leftovers, so I need to double my portion on Tuesday. You get the idea. So whenever you're looking ahead, when am I going to grocery shop or pick up your groceries or have them delivered? Anybody else delivery? It's my love language. I can get Aldi groceries delivered to my house. It is the best. Okay, so this is just, again, the practical. Planning or packing for the next day before you go to bed. We all know that, and I'm the queen of I should have done this the night before. So even if you just have a plan when you go to bed, you may be doing your packing in the morning, and that is still okay. I aspire to be someone that can actually pack the night before, but I'm too tired. But having all those things, even mentally, like what am I going to do for breakfast when I wake up? What am I taking to lunch? If I'm getting behind on water, what do I need to pack to make sure I've got my water bottle, my water flavors, my herbal teas, so that you've got those practical things ready. This might be from personal experience, but put your keys on top of your lunch if you've been known to forget it. And also stick to your bedtime. It really is a big deal. Set a timer for yourself to remember to get ready for bed. Is anybody a tired eater? You had a bad night of sleep and you really struggle the next day with eating? I am a tired eater. So the years that I have a newborn are hard years because I'm tired and that's when I want to eat. Having a good practical plan will help you care for your body's most basic needs. So hydration, quality food at regular meal times, consistent sleep, and physical activity. So now that you've planned, now we face the temptation. So it's kind of like step one, where are we at with the basics? Now we can go forward and talk about the more emotional things. This is just a recap. When you're hydrated, when you're eating quality food, getting activity, sleeping well, then you're prepared. Holidays are full of emotions, and mind mapping can help. So if you haven't heard of mind mapping, it's really just a fancy way to say brainstorming or jotting down your thoughts. It's really just taking pen to paper and kind of writing things out. And this is why I think it's helpful. This is the definition of mind mapping. The holidays are hard for all of us, but they're hard for different reasons. So sometimes something's not actually tempting to you. Maybe somebody else is talking about how great Cheryl's fudge is, and you're thinking, oh, I got to try it because she's talking about how great fudge is, but secretly you don't actually like fudge that much, right? When you sit down and you write these things out, you can identify, this is a hard thing for me that I'm not sure if I'm ready to give up, but these things aren't hard for me. And sometimes writing that down helps you so that when you walk in to that moment, you've already thought through, this isn't that big a deal to me. I could take it or leave it. So we'll go through this a little bit more. Mind mapping is a way to decide what's actually hard and what really isn't that hard for you. It's just different for everyone. So when you look ahead at what is actually hard, you can determine what you're not willing to give up. And that's okay. It's okay to give yourself some permission and say, I'm just not willing to give that one up. That's going to be my one splurge. That's going to be my one thing here. But that means that all these other things are not that big a deal because this is the one I'm holding on to, and these I can say goodbye to because I want this one. I do want to put a note in here. Maybe this ties in at this point, maybe not, but I just didn't want to miss it. To be cautious of all or nothing thinking. Who would say that they can be an all or nothing thinker? Oh yeah, thank you for joining me because my hand's right up there with you. So if you tend to think like, especially in December, I'm already off track, I might as well enjoy all of it. That is really where December gets tricky, is that maybe the first week of December you're doing okay, the second week of December, but if you have a blunder or a bad week or a bad couple days and you start getting into that mindset, that's really where the holidays will trip you up, is that now you're eating things that really aren't that big a deal to you. You just mentally feel like, I'm off track, it doesn't matter. So just be cautious of that. Those are the things you have to be honest with yourself about. So instead you might say something validating. We tend to be really hard on ourselves, right? But if you give yourself more of a positive statement, you could say like, of course this is hard. It's the holidays. That feels really human. Like, of course this is hard. It's hard for everybody. It's the holidays. I can stop here. It's not really worth it. I know what I'm not willing to give up on, but this isn't it. So just be cautious of that all or nothing thinking. You can always dust yourself off before January. This is a little mind mapping guide. I put this on my website. And again, if you take a card, then you'll have my website on your way out, so you don't have to write that down right now. But this is the most recent blog. So if you wanted to look at this particular page that I made, you could go to the blog, and it's a PDF. But I'm going to go through each of these questions. These are just prompts that I put out there to help people to kind of mind map and think through the holidays before they get started. Because there's no formula. There's no one size fits all for handling the holidays. It's just being honest with yourself. So if I was going to sit down and mind map out the holidays, the first thing I would recommend doing is question 1 is the holidays wouldn't be the same without non-food related things. So this is almost a way to get your mind going about all the things that are wonderful about the holidays that have nothing to do with food. So this might be where you write out your favorite Christmas music. You know, if you go to look at lights at certain areas of town, if you go visit, you go back home, you know, all the things that you get really excited about that feel warm and fuzzy, but you haven't even mentioned the food yet. Because it also helps you remember that the holidays can be wonderful without even mentioning the food part yet. It just kind of mentally helps you to know that this is going to be okay. Then you go into the second one, and then you say, okay, well, the holidays wouldn't be the same without, and now we're getting into the food items. And this might be more of the things that you have memories or emotions or things you just really like. You're like, I only get it one time a year. And you can be honest with yourself and map those out. I'm not willing to give up. So the number 3 box would be like, okay, here's what I'm not willing to give up. This is where I'm going to give myself a pass because this is my thing. And I'm just not willing to give up my grandma's yams. Like that's, you know, this is the one time a year. And that is kind of where you give yourself a pass. But it also does take a little bit of pushback because you're also simultaneously saying, but I can give up these other things. So does that make sense? It's making yourself do some give and take. Number 4, I'm going to get a little more into this. Do I have any limiting beliefs about the holidays? And this is because I just finished a challenge with members to my website. We do a Get Focused challenge, and our theme this time was limiting beliefs. So limiting beliefs are things that you believe to be true that are really just holding you back in some way. So these are some that members shared. I can't enjoy a holiday party without enjoying all the food. So she identified, like, that's a belief that I have, but that I can challenge. That I really, could I possibly enjoy a party without enjoying all the food? So that's a limiting belief. I will hurt someone's feelings if I change how we do things. That may be a limiting belief to just kind of push back on. You know, is this really true or is this something I'm just believing? If I'm off track, I might as well keep going and enjoy the holidays. And then somebody else said, I have to try a bite of everything. You know, like, well, you know, if there's a big spread, I have to try a little bit of everything. So she was going to challenge that to just enjoy the couple things that she wanted. So that would be prompt number 4 on that little worksheet. Are there any limiting beliefs that you might push back on the holidays? Number 5, how I will keep the holidays from getting the best of me. This would be maybe more of the practical, like, okay, planning ahead is how I'm going to keep the holidays from getting the better of me. And then the action items would be, when are you going to do that? So, okay, if you're going to plan ahead, when are you going to plan ahead? And when are you going to grocery shop? Kind of making you put your money where your mouth is kind of thing. And then a guiding phrase, word, or prayer to keep you grounded. That's just something to kind of keep tucked in your back pocket so that you're actually in the moment and you're at the party, you're at work. You have like a little word you've given to yourself, like, is this worth it? You know, maybe that's your little phrase. Whatever you might want that to be. And then plus in the bottom corner I said add a name of who you can confide in and seek support during this time of year. It's a really tough time of year, and I think it's really helpful to have a friend, even if it's a friend that you can like text, like, I'm going to a party tonight, check in on me later. This is my plan, let me, you know, check in and see how I did. So that's what mind mapping is. Any questions on that? Okay, so it really is just old school, pen to paper, let the holiday thoughts come. So if you're covering your basic needs and then you go through the emotional things, then the goal would be that you won't be completely caught off guard and that here you are in January being like, what happened? How did I get so off track? Okay, so here's my summary. Make practical plans and keep the regular days consistent. And spend some time thinking over the emotional aspects of this season. Like, what are you not willing to give up? What limiting beliefs can you challenge? What phrase, word, or prayer can keep you grounded? And who can you reach out to? And I know you're going to do small groups, so I also put some questions up here. What's the hardest part of the holidays for you in regards to food and exercise? Who's someone you could talk to about it? What practical things can you do that would help set you up for success? Do you think you have any limiting beliefs about the holidays? And then a little bit more about my website. Can I click through to that? I don't know. But I do have holiday recipes on here. So you'll notice I didn't go through, it's like contacting a server. I didn't just go through recipes. It's kind of fun to watch you get so nervous. But I have a blog on my website that has like 15 bariatric-friendly holiday recipes. So we could totally talk about those things, but I just wanted to go a little bit bigger scale than just the family meals and the desserts. Those things are important. So there's, like a pumpkin whip instead of a pumpkin pie, or ways to cut fat and calories on traditional casseroles. So those things are on there too. Any questions on that? I kind of breezed through that. Who's the earliest post-op here tonight? Is anyone less than a month? Okay. Anybody closer than that? Okay. Today's 1 month, and when was yours? 11th of November. Okay, I'm going to give you my cookbook. I have a cookbook here tonight that's on Amazon, so you're welcome to take a look at it, but I'm going to give my copy to you. Okay? Small groups or anything else?
Do you have any other questions for Stephanie?